Well, the issue of price regulation of local public services is becoming more and more important. If one thinks about the recent crisis and its effect on national and local public finance, well, the first aspect is that resources are extremely limited. When they are limited, it means that local public authorities must be particularly careful in managing these resources. And so the issue of pricing in all countries becomes extremely crucial. Efficient prices can be defined in several ways. I think there is a space for politics with a capital letter, but there is also an important space for administrative authorities, which must be given the right to set these prices with predetermined rules that give firms certainty about their stream of revenue and their investment perspectives. There are several systems that have been used, cost plus in the past, rate of return regulation. Now RPI minus X, or the price cap, is the normal way in which these prices are set. I think this rule has enormous virtues, has got some limitations as well. I mean, this is no place for ideology. Yes, okay, this rule can be extremely useful, but at the same time it cannot be denied that it has certain limitations in terms of credibility, in terms of its ability to remain constant over time. And anyway, even the price cap cannot totally get rid of some aspect of rate of return regulation through the setting of the cost of capital, of some cost plus elements. There are some elements of profit sharing that can be useful. So the price system that represents an optimal price regulation is actually a fairly complex object that we have to try and understand and try and explain in very practical terms, looking a bit at the theory but looking very much at the practice of several countries at national and local levels. This is becoming, as I said, particularly important in periods in which local public finance is strained. I mean that when public resources are particularly important, their management can be must be extremely careful. So an efficient management of these funds is important. Notice that sometimes prices can be below costs. That is very often the case in public transport, local public transport in particular, and that is no scandal. But it is a very delicate issue in that supply prices below cost must be justified, should not hide inefficiency, and should be managed in, again, an optimal way, at least to a maximum extent. We have a very important problems coming from the current financial crisis. A lot of people talk about privatization, talk about cutting local public services, talk about limiting national public services. This should and can be avoided, but this needs a very strong attention to how these funds are managed, to the optimal setting of prices, and this means that local authorities have a very important challenge in front of us, and public pricing becomes a key aspect of their ability to meet these challenges.